Hello and welcome. This is Dr. Nemo. Welcome to the Imani room for our stream religion class for first grade through fourth grade, fifth grade, and sixth grade. Okay, wonderful to have you. Today we're going to begin by looking at another book, a new book actually, and the title is Joseph the Dreamer. Joseph the Dreamer by Becky Laff. And she says Joseph has always believed he is special, but when his father gives him a coat fit for a king, Joseph's jealous brothers have had enough. Okay, now you might be wondering, what has this story got to do with faith and Jesus and all that? Can I tell you something? This is another story in the Old Testament. Actually, it appears like we are tracing our steps backwards. You remember we just finished with the story of Miriam and her little brother Moses? Okay, good. Now, before Miriam and Moses, this is what happened. So Joseph was a son of a man called Jacob. He had 12 sons, right? Jacob. And Jacob's name was changed to Israel in the Old Testament. So you will find the story actually in Genesis. I think if you start reading from about Genesis chapter 47, you start to read a lot about the story of Joseph and his brothers. Okay. Now, Joseph, if you look very deeply, is like another Christ. Just like Moses was a prophet, and Jesus came as the new Moses. In a special way, if you read the scriptures very well and you look at the life of Joseph and the life of Jesus, you can begin to draw certain conclusions. Because Joseph was hated by his brothers and they sold him into slavery. They sold him actually for 20 pieces of silver. And guess what? Jesus was also betrayed, you remember by who? Judas Iscariot, one of his friends. And he was sold for 30 pieces of silver, right? But just like through Joseph, right, God brought his people, the very brothers that sold him. When they were hungry and went back to Egypt to look for food, guess who was in charge? It was Joseph. So it was Joseph who saved the house of Israel, right? And that's how Israel became a people in Egypt. Okay? Now you might wonder, what is this? Same thing with Jesus. Jesus is betrayed. Jesus is even crucified. But through Jesus, the whole world has come to know that God loves us and God has a plan for us. Okay. So no matter what you're going through, okay, I want you to know that sometimes, if even it's going very bad, if even people hate on you, if people pick on you, God has a plan for you, just like Joseph, and God can do something mighty. So let's begin reading the book. This is going to be the first part of our book, and we will begin now. Okay, so let me tell you the story of Joseph. It all began many, many years ago, thousands of years ago. Joseph lived in the land of Canaan, where he grew up in a very large family. People far and wide knew of his father, Jacob, who was a good man. Jacob's lands stretched for miles. He had fields of corn and wheat and many grasslands for grazing his herds of sheep. Joseph's early life was like a dream. As the 11th of 12 sons, Joseph would not inherit any of Jacob's lands. But Jacob made sure to let him and everyone else know that Joseph was first in his heart. Does father care only for Joseph? Do you think he even notices us? Why does he think Joseph is so special? And it wasn't just Jacob who favored him. Everyone loved Joseph. It was always Joseph who was the smart one, Joseph who was the special one, and Joseph with his dreams. Last night, I dreamed of 11 sheaves of wheat bowing to me, praising me. Then I dreamed of the sun, the moon, and 11 stars in the sky, and they bowed to me too. They seemed to be leading me somewhere. This must mean I'm special. Ah, we don't care about your dreams. What nonsense. He's just a spoiled brat, a lazy dreamer. One day, Jacob came home from a trip to the market and for no reason at all presented Joseph with a marvelous gift. It was a beautiful rainbow-colored coat made of the richest, most vibrant fabrics any of them had ever seen. It's wonderful, Father, fit for a king. Joseph, my dearest son, I saw this coat and I knew it was meant for you, my special boy. A coat fit for a king. This has gone too far. Ha! So he's a king now. Something needs to be done about Joseph. But what? One warm sunny day, Joseph's brothers led him to the farthest reaches of their family's lands. This way, Joseph. A bit of fence needs mending. But then, now what? Should we just leave him here in this pit? Please spare his life. There must be another way. Look, there's a group of Ishmaelite tradesmen. What if we sold Joseph to them as a slave? Then Joseph's fate would be left for God to decide, and we would not be to blame. A deal was struck. Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery, and Joseph was taken away from everything he had known and loved. What was to become of Joseph now? So this is where we're going to stop here for today. Okay? So Joseph's brothers are jealous of him, and what do? First, they wanted to do what? Throw him into a pit, which they did. They threw him into a pit for him to die. But one of his brothers pleaded and said, oh, let's take him out and sell him out. So they sold him out to the Ishmaelites, and they took Joseph away. This is what his own brothers did to him. Now think about it, and we will talk about it again next week.